Hi, and hello and welcome to my stream today, where I am going to be playing more Frontline, as you can see. And, yeah. Dual randomness awaits. Why is my model not loading? Please. There we go. Oh, right, just shove it over there. Pray that OBS doesn't crash. Hasn't crashed. Very good. Thank you very much for the follow, Luva011. Hope you're having a good day. Now, let me just quickly investigate where we stopped last time. Though it should actually be fairly easy because it hasn't crashed yet. Let's not! Let's not. It would be rather good if it didn't crash, because it's a pain in the ass to get working. Is the game actually being picked up by the audio system? Yes, thank you very much, game. Anyway, we are going to jump back into the stuff where we stopped last week, which is not Lost in Thoughts. Lost in Thoughts turned out to be like a side event. The story is barely in that all. Let me just actually, you know, why not? Resources. Campaign. Dual randomness. One of the two events that I still need to play before I am caught up with the story. Sort of, kind of. How did I break this before I even loaded in? What the fuck is happening here? I didn't do anything. How is this already broken? How the fuck? Okay, I did this part, this side of the story. I did this side of the story as well. There's still... Unlock 8 out of 9? Hmm? 8 out of 9. Well, Operation Snake Eater. Part 9. What do we have here? Ouroboros. What is our mission? Defeat indicated enemy. The one down there? That's suspiciously easy. Okay. Kill him. Kill them all. 2. It seems to be quite a lot of damage that she's dealing. I do actually want to have Ouroboros, however she, as far as I'm aware, she was only in the capture system once so far. And at the time I wasn't exactly actively playing. So, you know. Let me see. Again, this is suspiciously easy. Something's wrong here. Unless this is just like a show and tell thing. What? Eshran, can I continue moving? Okay. Here. So this is a map with hidden teleports, I guess. So the suspiciously easy was on point, but not because of what I thought. Back. Okay, thank God it only teleports me back one tile. Up here? Nope. And then all the way around? Okay, so this is a mostly trial and error thing, so, I have no idea what's going on here, but I guess we are going to just try and get there. Nope. So it's gonna have to be this tile. Did the tiles up there just get deleted? I think the tiles that gave me all of the helipods were just removed. So I don't have the high amount of movement anymore. Yeah, they're just gone. Okay, well, but fine, I guess. Here we are. So. Alright then. Mildly annoying, not difficult, I guess. Instigator locked. Yes, I have read that. On the rooftop of a building in the refugee settlement, a rat is sniffing around for food and a piece of faded packaging. The loud noise of the main gate opening sends the rat scurrying. It scuttles along a piece of thick cable into the building. The cable is connected to a surveillance display, which is currently showing the open main gate. It housed at a hidden location. The wall is filled with different CCTV live feeds. Angie's group is captured by the camera angle towards the settlement entrance. Our target is here. Right on time, my intel is accurate. Those 4 aren't our dolls, right? Our information has confirmed that. They are the main impediment that hinders Pigeon's operation. Still, we'll just follow the plan and lure them into our traps, step by step. I didn't expect we'd be officially authorized to deploy the local police. Our comrades are everywhere. Victory will be ours. Once it is settled, it'll just be a matter of time. The target is heading towards the predicted location. Slowly does it. Send the agents to test the waters. Let the game of cat and mouse begin. Somewhere in the refugee settlement. A man is putting on a coat with the help of an attendant. When that is done, he starts adjusting his lapel. The sun shines through the filthy glass window onto his large and fleshy figure. Now, Powell, should we check in with them? We aren't on such good terms that they would share information with us voluntarily. I'm just a tool that has some use for them for now. I know that very well. Besides, the rats are here, aren't they? That's all we need to know. Right. Have we got everyone? Yes. As per your instructions, they are all trustworthy candidates that we've cultivated. With their numbers, they should be able to contend with the enemies for a short while. But will you be able to convince them? What I'm about to tell them is what they're intimately familiar with, what they want to hear the most. None of this should have come to pass. Someone's had so much faith in Germany. I was certain they would let me continue my operations in the refugee settlement as a philanthropist. But now everything has changed and no one would stand up for me. Now, well on. Powell clears his throat and walks through the door. He's now in a spacious indoor space where a large number of refugees have congregated. These people used to be police officers or firefighters in neighbouring regions. Some are even veterans who were quickly forgotten after the war. But no matter their identity, they all bear signs of severe silicification. Their faces are all contorted with pain and malnourishment, giving them a ghastly appearance. At the sight of Powell, all conversation cease and the room becomes eerily silent. My friends, they are extending their corrupt grasp into our home. They've already built this looming wall to suppress our freedom, and everything has taken a turn for the worse. This isn't how the world used to be. Our home is being exploited, ravaged and razed to the ground, and reduced to rubble. But we did nothing to deserve this. What crime have the sick and infirm committed? What about the children who had the misfortune of being born in a fetid garbage dump? And yet, here they come, laying siege on us in a direst moment of need, trying to snuff out our last bit of hope. Do we bow our heads and pliantly accept the torment that they are inflicting? No, never. This is our home. That's right. This is the only home we have left. I visited Hannah on the North Street this morning and brought her something to eat. She was so weak and frail, but with her dying breath she was still calling out to her child, who was shot dead by the turrets on the wall. We all know who is really responsible for murdering this child and this poor mother. Damn Bremen. They've never treated us as humans. Blood for blood. Exactly, blood for blood. They have finally shown their true colors. They are forcing our hand by taking away our most basic right to live. We are not to blame. They have brought this upon themselves. Since they don't treat us like people, they should not be surprised if they find themselves dealing with a vengeful beast instead. We will no longer submit to their oppression. It is time we let them know that we intend to fight for our lives. Smash their hubris and retake our dignity. The refugees pump their fists and cheer. Their cries resound throughout the chapel and the church, and almost breaking through the ceiling and reaching the heavens. What an idiot. Morido mutters under her breath as she stares out the window. Pardon? Oh, sorry, I was just kicking myself for what I did on what I said on the phone. You mean your call with the chairman Ulrich? Yes. Maybe I'm being naive, but is it always impossible to salvage the situation? Your question is very naive in and of itself. Really? What are your thoughts on the matter? The way I see it, there are three ways of perceiving the world. What do you mean? The first way is through others' description. If people say the world is a good place, we believe that. The second way is through our own personal experience. We can discover that there is darkness in the world, darkness that contains people's souls. The third way is through things that are inflicted upon us, pain that we are forced to suffer even if we try to avoid it. Most people adopt the second way. They still believe that the world will change even if they encounter hardships. But the real world never changes. It may present itself differently to you, but it is essentially always the same world. I disagree. As Chairwoman Ulrich's personal secretary, your naivety will only cause you regret. I believe that's just the conclusion you've drawn from your experience in the war. Everyone thinks differently. Having a little chat? Morido, what's the situation? Oh, right. The chairwoman has already dispatched the helicopter. It'll be here in about half an hour. That can't be the only thing she said. It doesn't take that long to talk about sending a helicopter. Ulrich also mentioned that someone would like to remind us not to go overboard, as this could jeopardize a lot of people's interests, yeah? There's no end to all this politicking, no matter what country I'm in. In times like this, only those who are with an iron will and stalwart strength can find their way out of plight. Does your Madam Chairwoman possess these qualities? I don't know. Perhaps you should ask her yourself. Probably has to speak with you in person again after this. That's assuming I survive. And stay away from the windows. Jane and I have found some information that Ulrich will find useful. Document them digitally and send her a copy. Okay. Gazing at Andy's bag, Morido gives her hand back a thoughtful pat. The loaded magazines are still lying quietly in there. You heard her? Will you abandon energy in an emergency? If perceiving the world using the third way is what makes a person worldly, what will you do? I will make sure nothing threatens the pain that I inflict. Interesting thought. Delta attack, end. Zone B, refugee settlement. Okay. Oh, this room stinks. I thought this organization was as cheery as it advertised itself, but I didn't take you for the type who'd fall for marketing ploys. I know it's all about marketing, but the least they could do is keep up a certain level of appearances. I didn't expect such a large difference. There are two sides to everything. This is also true about people. The HR records here are intriguing. What do you make of this? Some refugees have found employment in the White Zone, all floriculturists. There are about 1,400 of them, and all of them are working for the Botanical Institute you investigated. Huh? Surely the Flora Institute doesn't have that many vacancies. This is confirmed in the ledger, and coincidentally, Powell is also the one who signed these receipts. This place has ties with both the orphanage and the Botanical Research Institute. So the GIP is really working with Paradeus. Most definitely, but we need more incontestable evidence. It wouldn't mean a thing to those bastards if Ulrich threw what we found at their faces. Lucia, how are things out there? There are more and more refugees surrounding the church. There are also a few people who don't look like refugees hidden in the crowd. We can't stay here for long. Renata, report. Renata? Angie attempts to establish contact with RPK, but before the car can connect, a thunderous explosion erupts in Zone A. Hobbs immediately moves Angie behind him, but Angie steps around him and stares outside the window in silence. More refugees have taken to the disordered streets due to the noise and tremor of the explosion. What was that? The enemy must be on the move. Angie, there was an explosion of unknown origin in Zone A. The refugees are getting agitated. This is bad. That must have been a signal. Someone is about to get serious. We can't get in touch with Renato or AK-15. Angie, the comms are offline. Is it because of the explosion? Just then, the silence is shattered by the klaxons that are blaring through the settlement. Good God, what's it this time? Speaking? What? Then what should we do? Understood. We'll think of something. What's wrong? The garrisons guarding the gates are sustaining casualties. Someone has activated the turrets along the wall. Those things are now firing indiscriminately. What? Then what about the refugees? They'll prevent anything from passing through the gates alive. Us, the refugees, or even just the rat. Looks like someone's trying to start a riot. It's easier for them to act when everyone's distracted by the chaos. Yeah, even our escape route is a no-go. Our only hope of getting out of here is that helicopter. Isn't this supposed to be a disastrous situation? Somebody set up the same tone as how someone would say, "Oh, drat, there's only bread for breakfast today." That's kind of like that, actually. Let's see, can you join us? I could jump in through the roof. AK-12 leans out the window, but A-94, sensing something wrong in the distance, immediately pulls her back inside. Bullets smash the windows to bits. The two dolls switch positions and try to look at the shooter. Angie, someone's firing at us. Can you see them from where you are? I heard it. Holy crap, what the heck are those? A row of automatons are advancing on the church with riot shields and submachine guns, muzzles flashing menacingly. The surrounding refugees scatter in panic, but a lot of them are shot. Garrison sent our riot automatons. Have they also been hacked? Not necessarily. Our pistols won't even leave a dent on them. They're closing in on fast. You see, can you hack them? I've tried, but they can't be accessed remotely at all. All the ports are closed. They know us and they came prepared. You have permission to use your weapons. Link up with us once you destroy those automatons. We'll be leaving soon. Acknowledged. And Chip, get out your rifles and prepare to move. Right. We don't have much ammo with us, so we need to make every shot count. AK-12 takes a second to observe the situation. Under such intense enemy fire, it's impossible to reach the church by jumping across rooftops. She and AN-94 promptly return to ground level. A few of the riot automatons are charging straight toward the church. The two dolls take out the closest ones from around the corner. With the most imminent threats neutralized, AK-12 reloads and makes for the church while keeping her body close to the ground. The automatons start shifting their attention to 94, who proceeds to switch positions and lay down suppressive fire. Meanwhile, 12 dives next to a refugee corpse, using it as a meat shield while returning fire at the enemies. They're pretty slow. This won't be too difficult. You see, watch out. The anti-riot automaton that got shot down in front of AK-12 suddenly blows up. Understanding the dreadful implication, she scrambles quickly to her feet and dashes toward the church. 94 also makes a run on front foot under the cover of the billowing smoke. They both reach the perimeter of the church with lightning speed. Angie, get out of there. The automatons are rigged with explosives, so the church can't withstand the impact. Shit, they must be insane. Everyone out the windows, now! More exploding anti-riot automatons are trying to break into the church. AK-12 stops their approach with accurate shots. But the explosions are getting dangerously close to the 8th century church. The weathered stones and bricks are starting to shake. And she smashes one of the mosaic glass windows in the second floor and jumps out. The others promptly follow suit. Where did they get this amount of explosives? What the hell are they trying to do? We can't stay any longer. We should retreat to the wall. And get shot full of holes by those turrets? Follow me. Morido, can you run? I suppose. When I give the word, run with all your might and do not stop. Jay, if she can't keep up, carry her. Alright. Angie, go. We're almost out of ammo. We're leaving our backs to you. Angie's group starts riding towards the residential area while the two dolls cover their escape. Got to go too. No, we need to stay just a little longer. But we're running dangerously low on ammo and those automatons are getting close. Trust me. Trust Angie and trust those stupid teammates. We have to make a stand here. Understood. I trust you. Enemy reinforcements coming. Anti-riot automatons are making a beeline for the church, but the Defy dolls shoot them down accurately one after the other. I'm out of ammo. You see us straight ahead. With only one doll firing, one of the anti-riot automatons has made it to the entrance of the church. 94's final round hits it in a weak spot, and it topples and slides along the muddy ground, stopping right next to a building. The next second, the automaton erupts in a dazzling ball of fire. The impact causes the rickety building to collapse instantaneously. When the smoke and dust finally settles, there's already no sign of AK-12 and 94. In an abandoned house about 100 meters away, a person puts down their binoculars. Sir, 2 of the target tactical dolls are confirmed to be KIA. Acknowledged. The target's unit is down to 4 people, and we will encounter no further T-doll intervention. Only 4? What about the other 2 dolls? Unknown. Nobody has been in touch since the explosion in Zone A 15 minutes ago. We haven't heard from our recon unit or task force either. Did the dolls wipe them out? But how's that possible? There are only 2 of them, and they're not armed with explosives. Don't tell me... Oh crap, it must be them. Those bastards are making their move. Is the ground unit ready to deploy? Yes, already. Then tell them to get to the... Then tell them to get the fire burning. We've got work to do, brothers. Understood. Do you have any instructions for Pigeon? No. Pigeon is free to use their discretion. Meanwhile, in a room on the 2nd floor of a building in Zone B that was formerly the Kunsthalle Bremen, a unit of masked, well-armed personnel are listening to this conversation. You heard the man. Let's get to work. Finally, the foreplay's over. It's time we made our entrance. Since we are all showing our hands, don't blame me for not pulling my punches. These voodoo fanatics think they'll be bagging all the chips, but little do they know we still have an ace up our sleeve. Alright, listen up. I don't want any of them to leave the refugee settlement alive. Send them all to meet the beloved Maker. Yes, sir. Angie's group move rapidly down the street, while keeping their eyes on the surroundings. Angie watches as wafts as black smoke billows into the sky. She knows what's producing them. Garbage and tires being burnt, an omen of imminent pandemonium. After looking left and right, Angie kicks open the door to a tall building and leads the others inside. From the window upstairs, she can see that the massive crowd has been gathering. Dreadful howls fill the air. Another explosion erupts in the distance. Mario stares at Angie hesitantly. There are questions she is burning to ask, but somehow she can't bring herself to voice them as she studies Angie's calm features. The refugees are already on the verge of a riot in a matter of minutes. The GIP aren't the only ones that have infiltrated the settlement. It looks like even Powell himself has been stirring the pot here. He must be far more influential than we thought. They ride up the refugees and start a riot. We conveniently go missing in the midst of this chaos and won't cause any more trouble. Did you expect this to happen, Frau Angie? That plan isn't all that surprising, actually. It's logical, it's so logical it's almost unnerving. It's true that I didn't expect them to go to such great lengths to eliminate us, but it's not over for us yet. We may still be able to capture Powell. Are you out of your minds? How are we supposed to catch the bastard when all hell is broken out loose out here? We should find a safe location and wait for the helicopter to extract us. My daughters have sent me Powell's last known coordinates. I'm not leaving until I have him. If you're scared of the mess outside, stay here and keep Morello safe. Huh? Do we have to stay in here? I'd rather go with Angie. Are you all insane? I can't keep all of you safe without any extra help. Don't worry, I'll also guard the ladies with my life. With Kay being the only exception, do all the German guys talk like idiots? Still, even though you're cringy as hell, I do appreciate the support. Well, Hobbs, you can stay here by yourself if that's what you want. Fine, but we'd better hurry. Do you know where to find Powell? I'll manage. But hold on a sec. Something doesn't look right down there. The weird howling is getting closer. It sounds really scary. Angie looks out the window again. Amid the rising black smoke and surging crowds, she snutters sight of creatures that don't exactly look human. I knew you'd be there. Simon dragged you out of your hidey hole, William. Infernal Enlightenment. Oh, it's this team again. It took me 2 minutes to regain consciousness. Then another 10 minutes, writhing on the ground, getting back up, finding that damn box. It's silence. Just like so many others who will never be heard from again. My leg hurts, yet all I can do is to attempt to some sort of first aid by wrapping my leg with my undone neckerchief. After that, I spend another minute pondering. Wondering if I'm still alive or I've already died. Finally, another 10 seconds to come to the conclusion that I'm still alive, but not for long. On the rooftop of a certain building in the refugee settlement. Angie, is it really okay to leave her alone, all spaced out like that? Give her some time to pull herself together. She's looking rather pale. Is she frightened by what we just saw? I think she just lost her own thoughts. Still, as gentlemen, we shouldn't pry too much into her lady's secrets. Don't you agree, big guy? Oh, don't remind me. I'm trying very hard not to think about that. Several minutes ago, Angie's group leapt from rooftop to rooftop, trying to evade the refugees rioting below them. Mordo suddenly stopped her in her tracks, as if she's found something. What's wrong? I told you not to stop. What's that? Looking at where Morido's pointing, Angie sees a pile of corpses in a dark corner. One of the bodies stood out from the rest. Is he under the influence of some kind of hallucinogen? No hallucinogen could cause this much damage. It almost looks like an Elite mutant. The corpse is dressed in rags like the other refugees. The body is ravaged by severe solidification. There's even some sort of crystal-like object sticking out of his joints. There's also a huge gaping wound on the midsection of the monster, likely the only effective damage caused by the explosives from its desperate victim. Its silicificated skin is littered with a plethora of scratches, bullet holes, lacerations, all signs of a desperate struggle from its victim. Other than these corpses dressed in refugee rags, all kinds of weapons are also scattered on the ground. On the hands of one corpse, a radio still blinked brightly. It is clear that these were the ones who followed Angie before. The mutant continues to twitch, trying to free itself from the pile of bodies it's entangled in. From this distance, Angie couldn't tell if the other bodies are actually dead. What she was more bothered by is the yellow dust that drifted around the pile of bodies, and the scattered parts of yellow powder on the ground near them. It's not easy for an infected to turn into a mutant. Someone must be catalyzing the process. There are many in the settlement who suffer from Elite. Remind of the theoretical knowledge of bones. Yeah! Unfortunately, this is a little bit more macabre. Because, as she is currently explaining, no, in fact. These people were just dead. However, well, they were fighting against that Elite, but they died. But the bigger problem is that this entire zone is full of people that have suffered some kind of silicification at the hands of the radiation. And someone's pumping stuff in here that makes them go full Elite. Which is bad. You know, crystals growing out of their bodies, losing their mind, going full zombie. There are many in the settlement who suffer from Elites. If they all end up mutating, it'll be a lot scarier than a bunch of anti-riot dolls. Elite is trapped in the pile of bodies right now, so it fits by my standards. Yeah, but the problem is that the pile of bodies is going to turn into more Elites. Is the GIP so determined to kill us that they would resort to such extreme measures? This might not be the GIP's doing. On the contrary, someone could be sabotaging them. Sabotage? To help us? I doubt it. Besides, would you really want to help someone who's capable of such atrocities? Yo, you ain't looking so hot, big fella. My mutants not scary to you. Shut up. I'm trying to think of a way to get us out of this mess. Angie, judging from the current circumstances, we should immediately move to a place with fewer refugees. The entrance to sturdier buildings. We should head that way. Did you forget about those anti-riot dolls that are chasing us? Where are your dolls? Kick the bucket? All of them. Well known. And you still haven't changed your mind about capturing Powell? That is correct. Then at least tell us your plan. Jumping across rooftops without knowing where we're going is hardly conducive. We're going to Powell's last known coordinates, which Renatus managed to send to me before the signal went dark. The stone structure just across the square should be the headquarters of the Bremia Refugee Support Center. To instigate such a large-scale riot, they must have a control center. That building has a good view over the entire settlement, and is structurally secure. A perfect stronghold that would suit Powell's needs. You said it yourself, it's a perfect stronghold. With just the four of us... Wipe that blood off your nose, big man. We're only discussing our next move, don't get so worked up. Huh? What? Your nose is bleeding too, Jay. Got any tissues, Moroder? And he gives the tissues that Moroder found in the back to Jay and hops. She also takes one to wipe her own bloody nose before tossing it away. Why are we getting nosebleeds? These winds blowing the pollen up here. We need to get out of here. Pollen? Like that time at the Florence Institute. More refugees are heading this way. They're coming straight for us. Here, the intruders! Seize them! The refugees have gone mad after inhaling the pollen. We need to shake them off. If there's no other option, then shoot them. Meanwhile, down in the streets, which are engulfed in chaos. Let them raise hell. Turn the entire settlement upside down. Powell, we have relayed your instructions. Good. Now we just have to hunker down and wait for the storm to blow over. Looks like things will finally quiet down in the coming days. No. We can't let down our guard just yet. Why? Other than those trapped lapdogs, who else would be a threat to you? Don't get too cocky. We're just trying to make a living here. Lots of people are still capable of snuffing us out. Being cocky is not the reason why I've survived for so long. Those bastards from the JP think they can just toss me aside when I'm no longer useful to them. After we're done with the Pekma investigators, we must wipe them out as well. We need more carnage, more destruction. Empty our arsenal and arm all our brothers. Understood. I'll go distribute weapons right away. It did not take long for a large crowd to fill up the narrow streets. Powell turns around and, upon seeing his pursuers trapped by the mob, he lets out a victorious grin. That just makes me wonder if I missed something. I don't think I did. Nope. Infernal Enlightenment. There's only 3 maps here. So, you know. Also, we're getting towards the end of the event. 45 out of 62. So what do we have to do here? Reach the evac points while avoiding the refugees. Where is the evac points? All the way down there. Definitely don't go into the pollen. That is for sure. Hey-oh, Leaf. Question mark. Willow. Question mark. The avoiding the refugees part is definitely the hardest part here. What happens if I fight once? Nothing great. I'm doing... well, my food is not great, but apart from that, I'm great. I'm having a good time. Just chilling, mostly. Done a bunch of electrical work on our shed today. It's mostly done. Apart from that, streaming. Yeah. And now wondering about how to approach this mission. If I go anywhere, I'm going to have to fight one of the refugees, so let's just see how that will go. Bang, bang, bang. Just lights and stuff. Lights, dartboard that has electricity on it. A fridge. Yeah. I wouldn't call it fun, it's just, you know, work. You know, I call it a shed, but that's just because I don't know a better word for it in English. Because it is 4.8 by 4.8 meters inside. We have a bar in there. Like, it's not small, it's just, you know, yeah. It's just a shed. A party still about a shed? Yeah, exactly. Go, Angie, go. Wipe them out. Can you believe that Angie is not even the most badass NPC that you get to control? Because she isn't. By far. That honor absolutely goes to Kruger himself. Because in the... Sounds like a shit at me. Yeah. Yeah. That wasn't too bad. Wee. That would be exactly the kind of specific plans you were asking about. Just lights and stuff would have been just... Oh, no, no. I mean, there is lights in there. There's just outlets in there, too. It's no, like, super specific thing. Any dialogue? Oh, there it is. Infernal Enlightenment 2. Consider the bar to be rather specific without much. I mean, the bar doesn't have any electricity. It just has an outlet on it. As I said, there's a fridge, there's a water heater. Stuff. It's still a bar. No, I don't have a Browning automatic rifle in the shed. At some point I should learn how to make cocktails. I like cocktails. Cocktails are nice. I'm not usually a big fan of alcohol. I only drink stuff that tastes good. So yeah. Somewhere in the refugee settlements, special explosives are being passed among people dressed in rags. All supplies have been distributed. Mr. Powell has given the order. Great. Kill anyone who isn't one of us. We've lived under oppression for far too long. Today, we'll give those crowds what they deserve. Mocktails exist? Cocktails without liquor? I don't mind... Okay. I don't mind alcohol. I just don't like drinking for the sake of being drunk. If it tastes good, that's fine. If you just drink to get hammered, what's the fucking point? Should really order the bucket and water valve? Bucket and water valve? For what? Huh? Like, even stuff like drinking a beer while you're having a barbecue is entirely fine. I don't mind it. It's just, I don't like drinking for the sake of drinking. Which is something that, unfortunately, is very, very popular in the area that I live in. Pressure release, not water valve. Still wondering for what? Yes. I've been waiting for this. Come with me. Spare no one. Elsewhere in the refugee settlements. Our advancement unit got wiped out. We've already failed once. We must not fail a second time. Understood. We all know what's at stake. If we fail to capture our targets, all the sacrifice we have made will be for nothing. So hold nothing back. Failure's not an option. Yes, sir. Let's go. And this group is en route to capturing Powell. No food-grade buckets. And oh, right. Yes. Now I... Yes. Now I know. Bucket is not the right word. Because a bucket doesn't have a lid. I now know what you mean, though. Figure slides over the crisscrossing alleyways on the map. There are no more buildings ahead. We have to get back down to ground level. Do you have a route planned? I like playing things by ear. You don't have to trust me, but you don't have to be suspicious either. I'm just trying to help. Bucket is the right word for me until you tell me a better one. Container. A pressure pot? I don't know. I'm not. The refugees' movement are so erratic we can only adjust our route on the fly. Check your ammo. We're definitely going to get into some firefights. I still have 4 mags and an extra box of cartridges. But ammo reserves aside, there's no way we can fight so many insurgents with just our pistols. How many times do I have to explain this to you? This is specific than the others. One is less specific than the before, the other is just straight up wrong. Yeah, here's the thing. The bucket's just straight up wrong. Now it's our 4 mags. Didn't know you're so bossy, Hobbs. Thinking about jumping ship? I just want to drag us back to shore before we have the chance to drown. No intel, no plan, no reinforcements. No matter how you cut it, this is suicide. Trying to... Yeah. I actually saw, someone... This might not surprise you. I saw someone who is a massive fan of Spice and Wolf copy a recipe from there in like a sealed container to make mead out of honey, peaches, and something else. I forgot. As a native English speaker, this is fucking hilarious to watch. It's fine. Also, just another question. Who the fuck pressure cooks goulash? That's not how that works. Stop complaining and keep up. Be quiet. Get ready to go inside the house. What is going on? A group of armed refugees are charging this way ferociously from across the street. They're looking for about as if searching for something. They're gone. Possible. They've got to be nearby. They've got to be hiding in the ruins. Find them. How do they know where we are? It's not hard. We still got like sore thumbs. Let's take the detour by going... detour through the alley before moving to this area. How do we know we won't run into any refugees this way? I don't, but I do know that if we don't go now, the refugees in that building over there will happily skin us alive. Where are they? Just go. Not to mention, you know, actually, seal the pressure pot while making goulash. Good, because you don't pressure cook goulash. That's just not right. They're running. Don't let them get away. Catch them. Go. As the refugees come charging at them, the group of 4 spare no time and take off immediately. We should go south. The terrain is more varied there. I'm confident we can shake them off. Did do the Focasta though? That's fair. Well, Focasta, it's different because if you cook it in the wrong way, it turns very, very dry and... Meh. No, we keep going west. Are you joking? The refugees are coming from the west. Angie ignores him and runs straight into an alley leading to the west. Hobbs has no choice but to follow. Yeah, it is. Hobbs. Angie probably thinks that since the refugees are coming from this direction, we can be certain Powell is indeed and the refugee support center HQ. She's only concerned about capturing Powell. She doesn't give a damn about us. Quit whining. Focus on running instead. A series of gunshots go off behind them. Ah! Don't be afraid, I'll cover you from behind. Don't stop, keep heading west. The enemies are exchanging fire with each other. They're here. Bro, we've got coppers. The damn coppers are behind us! Ah! Oh, for God's sake. We'll say and hold them back. You go after those bastards. Shots keep being fired through the south at the crossroads. Just as Angie's group think they have shaken off the pursuers, more refugees come charging at them from the alley up ahead. There they are! Kill them. Are we covered in the homing beacons or something? Damn it, there are too many refugees in the settlement. If we had gone south, as I suggested, we'd be safe by now. How do you know we won't be ambushed in the south? Angie, maybe we can head south first to shake off the refugees. No, we're not turning back. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Our enemies are that busy shooting each other behind us. We can draw the people coming from the west over there. They want chaos, we'll stoke the fire. And how are you planning to get out of the fire yourself? I'll leave that to your expertise. The more out of hand the situation gets, the more opportunities we have. This is crazy. Ops, showing you some faith. Do I even have a choice? I wish I could be as optimistic as you. Can't be helped. Don't want to imagine what the refugees would do if they got their hands on us. Right now, we need to work together as a team. Let's catch up with Angie. Using their limited supplies of ammo, the group of four sprints towards the chaotic firefight. Chief, requesting precise coordinates. Requesting precise coordinates. The crossfire is getting out of hand. We require precise coordinates. Damn it, I can't get in touch with the chief. These refugees are bad news. We're taking too many casualties. At this rate, we're going to lose our target. Forget about the refugees and avoid contact. Our field unit just reported back. We found Sparrow. Now it's only a matter of time until the pigeon comes for it. Splendid. Make it so. On the other side of the refugee settlement, a few people are observing the crossfire from an abandoned building. Mr. Powell, the rats have fled. Those German imbeciles. They're the first to run when it truly matters. Mr. Powell? Mr. Powell, where are you? I've got news. What is it? Sorry, we've lost her. The bitch took off like the wind in the melee. Doesn't matter. This is our turf. She can hide. She can't hide for long. Hold on. How did you get in here? What about my guards at site? Guards? What guards? I didn't see anyone when I came in. Oh no, Mr. Powell, you've got to... Yes, I know. You, take a few men and set up defenses here. Have some of your friends inspect this block. Open fire if they see anyone suspicious. Yes, Mr. Powell. Let's go. It's a bad idea to stay any longer. These rats have sure have sharp teeth. Powell promptly leaves through the window under the protection of his entourage. 15 minutes later, in the same room, 3 armed agents decked in high-quality gear interrogate the last survivor in the building with a Picana connected to a car battery. Where did the fatso go? Say it! Damn cob. Ah! Wisecap, the block has been cleared out. Just a bunch of goons. No sign of Sparrow. Got it. Notify the local teams to connect to Scout Zone C3. Have Team A head north and Team B to catch up with Pigeon. He shouldn't have gone too far. He's bound to mess up if we keep up the pressure. They're not pros. Roger. And what do we do with this guy? The leader unholsters his pistol and shoots a refugee still being electrocuted in the thigh. Ah! I'll pry the information out of him. Any more questions? No, sir. Then carry on with your orders. Yes, sir. Damn. I'm actually really looking forward to some of the events coming up. I know that, considering that it isn't this event, the next one has something. And I really want to replay Point Care Recurrence, because goddamn that event was good. But again, I don't know if I'll get around to it, because there's still the event after this, and then this month we're supposed to get the next big event, as far as I'm aware. Unless I'm wrong again. Which could be. I was wrong twice already. Because I'm not smart. Okay, it's just reach the evac point without dying. Again. All the way over there. Let's see where they all are. We have 4 movement points. Go up here. Question mark. get us these guys off the ass. I'll actually get us everyone off the ass, I think. Probably gonna have to beat up someone. Somewhere. Oh wait, no, they're patrolling. We can actually maybe squeeze through there. One, two, three, four. You want us to there? Honestly, we're just gonna blast straight through. I don't know what happens if we walk into the smoke cloud here, but we're just gonna do it. Nothing happens. Well, that's good to know. I think we're debuffed. Okay, don't walk through the smoke. Good to know. We're still gonna be fine. We're only gonna have to fight twice in total, so it'll be all okay. I don't know what that skill is, actually. Oh, this man is bad. Maybe not. We're okay. It's all good. Just a little close. No big deal. Now we just rush straight through. Alright. And the turn here. That's another mission done. Come on. Load in the things I want to see. There you go. Part 2. Well, Infernal Enlightenment 3. Let's go. The group zigzags through the network of alleyways in the refugee settlements. They are still being pursued. Moira looks back in fright. A stray bullet grazes her leg in a split second when she hesitates. Ah! Moira! She crashes heavily onto the ground, and the refugees close behind are raring to pounce on her. Let's see how far you can run, little bitch. And you cover me. Got it. Get on. Jay hurriedly grabs a wine bottle lying on the street and smashes it into one of the refugees' face, then picks up Mordo and runs back to the others. His brutal attack causes the other refugees to pause, but they soon remember their objective. Quick. With Mordo in his arms, Jay catches up with the group on the Angie's cover fire. That was close. Thanks, Jay. And here I thought you all talk. Turns out you've actually got some moves. I've never lost a bar fight, you know? And you do still have ammo. Also... Wait, let me give you Mordo first. I've still got some ammo. How'd you take some Mordo from Jay and hoist it up on the back? Good. I only have one last mag. Jay, you and Hobbs are to give us cover. And what is it you were going to ask? Angie, are you certain your objective remains unchanged? Positive. Alright then. We're just a block away from the support center. We need to be on our guard. Pause. Meanwhile, in a corner in the next block. All teams buckle up. Sparrow's heading towards Zone B. I repeat, Sparrow's heading towards Zone B. Acknowledged. Command finally got in touch. The cage is go. Repeat, the cage is go. Understood. Please give us the location. On the other side of the refugee settlement. Mr. Powell, this way. Please hurry. How many men do we have left? Only 6. Only 6 of your guards remain. What about the other zones? They're trying to get here as fast as they can, but they've got held up. The comms just went down. Enemy interference, probably. What do we do? They're going all out, eh? We're going back. Pardon? Sorry, what was that again? We're heading back to the support center. Can't be helped. We'll have to use that again. But what about the high-ups? They'll understand. They don't really have any other choice. Understood. Well, that was a rooftop dash unlocked. Interesting. What the fuck? Nightmare harder normal. Oh, this is gonna be... this is a mini-game. While they're usually quite cool, they're also usually quite bad on PC. Let's do the normal one first. It'll be fine. Warning, this is a combat tutorial, do not skip. Angie, Hobbs and I will stay behind to slow them down. You go and bring Mordor to the destination. Understood? Don't get left behind. Mordor's in general lag, you may have to... Angie takes Mordor off Jay's arms. Angie, I'm fine. I have a job for you. Give me directions while I focus on jumping. Huh? Okay. Tap right, up and down to jump forward, up and down respectively. The longer you press, the farther to jump. Note that you can only land safely on rooftops. You will lose if you land between the buildings. Now guide engine... okay. Ah, fuck. Womp womp. Yeah, as I said, this is gonna be a minigame. The minigames usually are fun and interesting. They're not made for PC. I'm running this game through an emulator on PC. Bullshit! So yeah, this is gonna take me a moment to actually go through. It'll be fine. Okay, some of that still counts. I won't complain. That was a lag. La-di-da. Again, won't complain that that counts. Oh, for fuck's sake. Will complain that that didn't count. So the hitboxes are a little bit shifted, I guess. Shit. I don't know how long this actually is. Let's try that again. And mind that this is currently the easy difficulty, so I don't want to know how difficult those are. Wee. This is fine. We. How long is this gonna go? I don't know. I haven't done this before, so I genuinely don't know. Apparently this long. We. Just glad it's done. It's all good. I'm gonna guess that the hard and the nightmare actually use the other buttons too. Which I'm very glad that the normal didn't, for the simple reason that you're normally supposed to play these with two thumbs. One on the one to jump forwards, and one on the jump up and jump down. Glad I didn't have to do that. It is done now. Same objectives, I'm guessing? That symbol usually means there's something following. So something's fucky. It's gonna be a follow-up objective. Will there be a follow-up objective? Yes, there is. See. Ta-da! We suddenly have actual echelons that we can use to fight. Because surprise, surprise, no, the combat T-Dolls were not in fact defeated, they're just not present. Eliminate all enemies. Let's fucking go. 15 absolutely evaporating everything that comes in our way, as 15 does. I'm gonna switch these two. And I'm gonna move you out here. And then hopefully we can get to a heliport I can actually use. And maybe spawn my own echelon. Okay. Who knows? Because so far all of the actually, is this one linked? Yeah, okay, that one's locked. Next one that isn't locked. Which is the one that I want. So, in turn here. Enemy's gonna move, it's fine. We're just gonna capture some stuff. Do some light combat. Get a bridgehead established, get some forces into the map. You know. We. So what we want to do is move you on here. Leave you there. We want to avoid Angie being caught in combat for the simple reason that, while Angie could fight, Angie's not good in a fight. In comparison to, well, the actual combat dolls. We only have one move left. I don't actually know where to move, though. Actually, I do know. Switch these two. Oh, I did spawn a unit to attack Angie. Angie will probably be able to kill this one squad. Probably. Maybe. Should be able to kill it. Maybe. Ah, fuck. I was wrong. She was not able to do that. At the same time, the funny thing is I don't think that there was a failure objective of Angie surviving. So I think we're still fine. Maybe. Seems like we're good. Wait. Get them all off, okay? I don't like you, but you're still good enough for this. Dang, I don't actually get to spawn anything. Shame. Alright then. I know that I still have a move, but honestly it would be smarter to not use it. I should work my way from this corner upwards and just gonna continue capturing heliports. Because otherwise the enemy will just keep getting more and more. Which is not ideal, as you could probably imagine. Like, they're literally not hurting us at all. But, still. Now we have 4 movement points. Which is good. Miami Kyoko. That's what I'm guessing today. Yes, there is a rare GFL stream. I've actually been doing these for 1.5, 2 years? I think I got back into the game like January 2023? And I've been streaming it ever since. Essentially doing a story rundown kind of thing where I play through all of the story. Hope you're having a great day though. So I'm currently playing through the story of Dual Randomness, which is one of only 2 events that I've actually missed during the time that I have not been playing. So now we go over here. Alright. Just let you sit there. So I can't remember the last story before you quit. That is fair. I mean, I know that a lot of people quit the game at some point. As I said, I myself quit the game during the entirety of 2022, essentially. There was just not enough content for me to keep playing, and it was taking a lot of time to do the things that were there. So I just didn't play for a while, for like a year. Missed 2 events during that, and now I have played through all of the story, from chapter 1 to... Oh, well, chapter 0 as well. Chapter 0 all the way to here, which is chapter 13.5, I think? I have remembered most of the story before this. It's just, you know, I can actually just finish the mission here. I just need to kill these 2. There's a lot of really good story in this game. It's just unfortunate that for a good while, the content and the battles that you had to go through were frustrating or boring. Because let's be honest, there's a lot of types of enemies that are just not fun to fight against. Like, all of the theater end maps are very high skill ceiling, but they're just not fun to fight. Honestly, I'm mostly in for the story. I'm really looking forward to GFL 2.
希望の星ブレンテン、ただいま参りました。指揮官、私の初陣を楽しみにしててくださいね。
Infernal Enlightenment Part 4. We. Zone B, Refugee Settlement. Since GFL fully and foreign story has... ever since GFL 2 came out, fully and foreign story really has halted. Has it? No new ranking map at all ever since SS? I mean, we're getting a new event this month, as far as I'm aware. So it's not been that long. It's been like 2 to 3 months since the last event, I think. Hang on, I would have to look it up. I don't right now. No, don't know right now. Hello, Zedexter. Hope you're having a great evening as well. The ranking maps, I have to admit, not my focus on content. I have to admit, it's just not for me. Any words? No, the connection keeps failing. But the signal isn't down. Has Mr. Powell left us behind? The mission failed all because of our incompetence. Just then, the sound of our rapid footsteps can be heard from above. What? Are they here already? Hush, run! It's become a piecemeal rather than full big one as of late. I mean, okay. The small events are not the replacement for the big events. The big events are still coming. The small events are just extra. And I'm entirely fine with that. Like, the Summer Garden of... I forgot the name. The Summer Garden was a really good event. Genuinely. It was a small one, but it was good. It's nothing new. We had the same setup of the same kind of event with the event that was around the Scar Sisters and everything, which was also really well written. A really good piece of the story that we got in addition to the rest of it all. And then around there, we also got some other story bits. You want to use mobile armor on some fresh endgame content, but there's none. Okay, that's fair. That is fair. Confirmed. Commencing cleanup. Are we finally free? Yep. Congratulations, Trash. You're free. Bang. Suddenly AK-15 kills the dude that was about to shoot him. In an alley inside the refugee settlement, or something like that, probably. The feeble gunfire is utterly futile against a massive wave that comes crashing in. The enemies are elusive, but there's no doubt about it. Danger is stalking Powell and his followers. Mr. Powell, watch out! Ah! Powell's right-hand man jumps in front of him and is shot by a bullet that has seemingly come out of nowhere. However, there is no time for Powell to grieve. He stumbles along and finally reaches the refugee support center branch located in the Bremen Ratskeller. By then, only 2 of his guards are still with him. Surrender, Herr Powell. His hunters call out to him outside the Ratskeller. They are being surrounded. I don't know what you have hiding in there, Herr Powell, but you're finished. There's nowhere to run, so how about you all just lay down your weapons? It's game over. I really wish I don't have to kill you. After all, we're still friends. Friends? As long as I'm still useful to you, you mean? That's a bit blunt, but yes, you can think of it that way. You know, things would not have gotten so ugly if you just played nice. You forced my hand. If I'm to be sacrificial pawn, then I'm bringing you down with me. Save your breath and spare me this nonsense. I'm coming down. Keep your lackeys on a tight leash. If anybody shoots, I'll have to resort to hand grenades. What now, Mr. Powell? Powell's bodyguards eye him questioningly. He says nothing as he stares at the only entrance to the Ratskeller. Are you willing to die for the freedom that we seek? He asks his followers quietly. Of course. We wouldn't be alive if it hadn't been for you. And put down your weapons. What? Trust me. A group of well-armed operatives walk down the stairs. Powell recognizes the leader even through the mask. My men didn't die in vain. I wasn't expecting you to come, Lieutenant Butler. An officer of the mighty garrison coming after me in person. Why degrade yourself like that? Looks like you haven't done your homework. We've already implied who's in the main cast here. I don't have time for your riddles. What do you want? You know exactly what I want. What we all want. Your ledger. You want to destroy the evidence of your partnership. How do I know that you won't kill me after I give it to you? You don't, but you don't have a choice either. Either you hand it over yourself, or I search your body for it. Fine. I suppose I'll just hand it over. Paul reaches into his breast pocket and retrieves an item. He raises his arm and bellows. Fire! His two bodyguards raise their weapons immediately. But they're just a little too slow. The two men are shot full of holes in an instant. However, this has given Powell the opportunity to throw something onto the floor while covering his mouth and nose with his left hand. Yellow smoke permeates the cellar in a matter of seconds. Powell knows that a normal adult will not last longer than a minute in such concentrated smoke. He simply has to get out before the pollen settles. He sprints towards the wall of the cellar. However, a bullet whisks through the smoke and penetrates his lower leg. He falls in pain and disbelief in front of a row of large wooden wine barrels that must have been centuries old. The operatives, who are armed to the teeth, emerge from the smoke. Sorry about that. The leader lifts his infrared goggles and reveals that he's wearing an oxygen mask. You underestimate me. You really think I would be prepared against your worthless hallucinogen? You think too little of the armed forces, Powell. Maybe I should take off your gas mask and let you have a taste of your own medicine. Treacherous krauts. Now, no reason to be vicious. We both know we only been taking advantage of each other. And that this mutually beneficial relationship is bound to end someday. So you really have no idea what this is. But that doesn't matter anymore. It's people you want, right? Then why don't you look behind you? Just then, a monstrous blood-curdling growl comes from behind them. The armed unit turns around in reflex and are greeted by a nightmarish sight. The two men that were shot repeatedly, that should have been lying on the floor, are now standing upright. They aren't men anymore. They're monsters. Their clothes are torn by the jagged crystalline clumps protruding from the joints, exposing skins that are covered in faded marks of silicification. But the most frightening of all is the crystallization that is already occurring within the freshly inflicted bullet holes all over their bodies. If experts on relic technology were present, they would realize what the two men are turning into right away. Zombies infected with Eurosky low-emission infectious disease, or simply known as elites. Powell, you son of a... The leader's exclamation is cut short because there's suddenly no sign of Powell anywhere inside the cellar. They are the only ones who are still enclosed within the two monsters. The barrel was a tunnel entrance. Meanwhile, in the Bremer Ratskeller. It came to me that it's frighteningly cute. Yeah. I was actually mentioning that earlier. Like, how terrifying does it have to be if you see a dead body and it's just growing crystals as it's getting back up? It reminds me of a different franchise that might have been a little bit, you know, it could be an inspiration, considering the fact that it was released originally in 1995. It also uses green crystals as a thing. Meanwhile, in the Bremer Ratskeller. The elevator goes up a level. The elevator hidden inside one of the gigantic medieval barrels is a secret known only to a few. Yep, as I thought. This secret has saved Powell once again. Powell stumbles out of the elevator and leans painfully against the desk in the secret chamber. I still got hit. I need to stop the bleeding. Here, bandages. Oh, thanks. He starts sweating uncontrollably. He turns around and finds someone sitting at the desk. The woman who just offered him bandages is pointing a pistol straight at him. Of course, he knows that she is Angelia. I've finally got you, Powell. We have a lot to talk about. This is impossible. The entrance is locked. You're right. This is a safe house for visiting senior state officials. But I also happen to have with me a secretary who have participated in state visits in the past. She gestures at the young woman standing behind her. The young woman smirks in amusement. You took advantage of our infighting. How did you slip past my brethren? Your brethren are pretty much all wiped out by the anti-riot dolls. You think a few guns would win a war against a military force armed to the teeth? Though, your followers did manage to pin down those corrupt cops, so it's still a win-win scenario for you. You bitch. Whatever you say. Alright, we should take you somewhere nice before the nasty little war's over. Jay, tie him up. Jay, didn't you hear me? I don't think he can hear you, Angelia. Hops emerges from the shadow. He drags out an unconscious Jay along and drops him onto the floor. He tried to put up a fight, as futile as it was. The same goes for you. You don't have much ammo left. Don't make things difficult and put down your gun. I don't wish to hurt a future collaborator, but if you leave me no choice... Mordo shuffles closer to Angie in fear. Angie falls silent for a moment before lowering a pistol. There's a good girl. Now cuff that fatty. Angie takes out a pair of handcuffs and puts them around Powell's wrists. Then she knocks him off his feet with a casual kick. Finally dropping the act there, Mr. Nationalist. Our itinerary kept getting leaked. I knew we had a mole among us. Hops? How could you? Shut up, girl. The grown-ups are talking. That's right, it was me all along. You suspected me since the start, haven't you? Nostalgic watching the GFL stream at 3 in the morning. You are quite a few hours ahead of me then. For me, it's currently 9:30. But yeah. Man, I'm still... This game has had a grip on me ever since it released, essentially. The story is just really, really good. I'm suspicious of everyone. So tell me, why would a member of the GIP infiltrate Pekma as a spy? This was the days. Yeah. Glad to see that, well, glad to have you here, essentially. Yeah. Why? That hardly matters anymore, does it? Didn't you mention something about a future collaboration? Then at least show me some sincerity. Tell me why. You're not doing it for the money. Your service record is immaculate, and you have a bright future ahead of you. It's not out of vengeance either. You're one of the few federal soldiers who passed the political vetting process, and the Unity Party government has done nothing wrong to you. You've looked me up quite thoroughly. I want to know. How long do you think the GIP will endure when it becomes increasingly obvious that the Rosatrists are working together with the new Soviet Union? Answer me, Wolfgang Hobbs, former senior master sergeant of the Commandership Spezialkräfte. What exactly did I miss? Tell me why you believe the so-called future lies with the junk heap of the far-right nationalist party like the GIP. Forgive me for being blunt. After all, if we are to be collaborators, I need to think ahead. You've got guts. No wonder you're such a valuable asset. Alright, I'll answer your question. First of all, my name is not Hobbs. I'm Franz Schreck. I was indeed a platoon leader in the 2nd Commando Company of the KSK during the war, but what you Stasi don't know... Hobbs gives Jay, who is sprawled on the floor, a kick. Is that I'm also an intelligence officer at the Federal Office for Protection of the Constitution. As for why I'm doing this to restore my country to its full glory, of course. What, you want to resurrect the Third Reich? Ha! The GIP is just a useful signboard that attracts an endless supply of malcontent rats who make perfect fodder for us. The questions you should be asking are, how is it possible for us to infiltrate the protective security of the security unit of the PACMA chairwoman herself? Why is the Stasi unaware of my identity? How come we have the capability to wipe out the rioters in the settlement today? Just then the elevator to the hidden chamber chimes again. The doors open to reveal the armed unit. Take care. Have a good night. If it's 3 AM for you, have a good rest and yeah, I mean, I do still have bills to pay myself. It's just that currently I'm at home because, well, I have an injury in my foot, so I can't work. Take care. Thank you very much for the follow, and I hope you have a great evening. Let me just drink something. All the operatives are wounded, but not too severely. Cap, you've told us you're here already. We thought you'd lost control of the situation. What happened down there? We lost 3 other men, but we eliminated the rioters. These bastards released some highly radioactive pollen. Good thing none of us inhaled any, so we should be fine. The leader steps roughly on Powell's leg wound as he says so. Shut up, Zalke. Returning to the subject at hand, Frau Angelia. We lost the last war. We failed to defend the German blood and soil, as well as this fragile Volksgemeinschaft. We lost to you. I concur that the victors are at liberty to deal with the losers however they want, so I have no complaint about that. However, I will never allow my country, a country that has comrades that I protected with our lives, comrades and I protected with lives, to be handed over to a bunch of Rossiterist zealots who live in the fantasy of those corpse-worshipping fanatics in the Yellow Zone. Many, many others share my sentiments. We far more support than what you imagine. Guys, tell this Divochka of the Neo-Soviet Union who we are. Hier ist die der Bundespolizei. Right. By now you must have a pretty good idea about our capability. It's my turn to ask questions. Frau Angelia, what do you want? I want world peace. I want children to be spared from living in strife and fear. Quite the jokester you are, Frau Angelia. Life is hard in this line of work if one doesn't have a sense of humor. You're absolutely right. So can you tell me how you plan to achieve world peace? I'm a simple woman. I never risk my life for lofty aspirations. All I want right now is some decent money and a quiet life. It's hard having bloodsuckers up on the payroll. I was expecting a higher price for someone like you. Money, freedom, these are all easy demands to meet. So easy they're almost dull. As long as you give us what we want, we will never let anyone lay a finger on you, not even the refugees. That's right. We're the ones actually in charge here. This is just a refugee settlement. Surely this is not all you have to show for... all you have for show after that grand speech of yours. Certainly not. Though the rest of the demonstration will have to take place at a safer location. So please come along, Angie. I would not like to use violence against a future partner. The armed operatives start edging closer to Angie. Angie? Oh, I almost forgot. Before we set off, we should eliminate the final witness. Black Muslims are trained on Morador. What a pity for the sweet and diligent secretary to meet to end under such unfortunate circumstances. But don't worry, I'll tell Chairman Ulrich of the truth. Auf Wiedersehen, Frau Morador. It's been a pleasure working with you. No. Morador pleads weakly, but her eyes betray no fear at all. She stares unblinkingly at Hobbs, her body tense like a knocked arrow. Because, surprise, surprise! She holds her hand behind the back as if waiting for her fate and resignation, but in fact she is reaching for her lifeline, a movement that Angie recognizes immediately. An idea flashes in Angie's mind. I have another request. You want me to spare her? Not that. You've heard the story, right? The one about the band formed by a rooster, cat, and dog and a donkey. I want a ticket to a concert given by the town musicians of Bremen. No, make that 5 tickets. I want to see it with my own band. This is hardly the time for jokes. What makes you think I'm joking? At the sound of the mighty crash, the wall to the side is smashed to pieces. A tall figure steps through the hole and sends one of the armed operatives flying with a strong kick. Am I late? Please don't be late ever again. I'm not sure if I can come up with another stupid joke to buy time for you. How are you still alive? I didn't find this place just with my gut feeling, dumbass. Captain, behind you. What? Today is such a beautiful day. The world is ablaze and humans have all turned into moths, fluttering among the flames. Another doll. Where did she come from? Maybe it's a moth natured to self-destruct. Maybe she's been there the whole fucking time, you moron. Infernal Enlightenment 5. Inside the church in the refugee settlement. The place is littered with corpses, their once warm blood slowly growing cold. Hobbs is shoved into the floor. He's only suffered some minor injuries, but his face is still as pallid as that of a cold corpse. What sacrilege it is to kill on hallowed ground. Thank God you made it here in time. Thank you so much, Frau Renat and Frau Evie. Don't thank me. It's all part of Angie's plan. Mr. Hobbs, what do you think of my nodding? And Mr. Powell, nice to meet you. What? Not even a handshake? Hobbs glowers in silence while Powell has already passed out since the moment AK-15 broke through the wall. Because, fun fact, no, she did not use explosives. She just waltzed on through. Andrew walks up to Jay and kneels down to check on him. Jay, wake up. Mr. J, if you keep playing that, AK-15 will smash something again right next to you. Oh dear, he's actually out cold. His vital signs are stable though, so he'll live. What terrible news. Indeed, but they are not more not so terrible news. Andrew looks out the window. Sounds of the approaching police cars, ambulances and armed helicopters grow clearer and clearer. Andrew, we'll be there in 5 minutes. How are things on your end? We've got Powell, and we also exposed the GIP mole. It's Hops. Nothing serious happened though. Nothing serious happened, though Jay has taken quite a beating. Really? Then stay where you are. Be there in 3 minutes. The call ends. He's dying to see Jay looking like a lumpy ragdoll. Angie, about Hops. Don't worry. I won't let Chairwoman always be implicated. We'll hand him over to Kay. His old prison life will probably be heaven compared to what he's about to go through. Isn't that a bit excessive? Enough with your false pity, hypocrites. What do you mean? Don't you understand? Where were you in 2053? What are you talking about? What about 2058? I don't like it when people beat around the bush. What's your point? You want to know why I'm doing this? Take a proper look at this refugee settlement and you tell me why. The Volkskammer once told us to fight for our people, to fight for justice, so we sacrificed everything for the sake of this land. And in return, this is what we get in return. Germany has to exploit its own people to feed these refugees. Even the GIP, whose endurance as you're so dubious of, pay more than the meager minimum wage set by the government. 7 mark and 34 pfennig is nothing. So it is about money, after all. But that's okay, at least you're more down to earth than an old friend of mine. Only those who are in touch with reality deserve sympathy. What do you know? Veterans and elites in the armed forces can barely afford to put food on the table, while Pegma is burning money to house this group of human swines. This is not why we've bled for this country. Andrew shakes her head and walks off, ignoring Hobbs. I thought you were going to continue this breath-wasting debate. The aforementioned old friend has taught me that it's impossible to change the minds of people like that. Which is almost certainly an old friend who's drowned in the depths of the Paldisky submarine base. At least it's not something I can do. Perhaps the OGs is better at this sort of stuff. But wasn't he the one who dumped all this trouble onto you in the first place? At least I've learned that idiots are all alike after going through all this trouble. Mordo puts down a communicator and walks up to Angie. Angie, I just got in touch with Chairwoman Ulrich. She has something very important to tell you, but she must do that in person. The aircraft you summoned is almost here. Let's travel directly to our office. Alright. Once we've wrapped things up here, I'll go see the Chairwoman with you. We can give her a report of our investigations while we're at it. Somewhere. We failed. They have Hobbs. Hobbs is a tough guy. He won't tell them anything. But what are we gonna do? Get on the boats. First of all, we must survive. As long as we're alive, we haven't lost. Under the intervention of the multiple parties in Germany, the riot within the refugee settlement is soon snuffed out. Hobbs and Powell are taken away for further investigation, while Kay arrives at the scene with reinforcements. Angie, where's Jay? Aren't you going to at least ask about what happened? Don't be ridiculous, just tell me where he is. There, lying in the corner. Kay immediately takes off running with a team of paramedics in tow. Yeah, Kay must be very close with Jay. That's why he's so concerned when he heard that Jay is. Before Mordo could finish, Kay emits a low chuckle as he towers over Jay. I've never heard that Kay laugh so happily. And I've never heard such a sleazy laughter. Oh, Evie? Yes, Angie. You and Renata go get yourself patched up. We'll meet up at the safe house later. Roger. What about the other 2 doors? They're destroyed. But don't worry, they're left backups. We'll just activate the spare bodies once we're back at the safe house. Let's go talk to Chairwoman Ulrich first. There's a lot we need to fill in. Right, the aircraft just landed. Perfect timing. Good. Where's it? At the square just outside the church. Got it. Going so soon, Mordo? Up on your feet already? Being the hopes and dreams of so many lovely ladies, I can't keel over just like that. I was just about to check on you. Looks like that won't be necessary. Oh no, I'm actually feeling really lousy. Still, I didn't know you cared so much about me. You're mistaken. I just wanted to drink in how battered you look after you got the living crap eaten out of you. The prettier the girl, the better she lies. Hehe. When this whole business is over, can I take you out for some coffee? You probably won't want to. How does Arabica bean sound? I know a really good coffee place that makes those. Sure, I'm up for it. I seem to be intruding on something here. Oh, you're still here. Stop hitting on girls, Jay. Go lie down inside the ambulance. Alright, alright. We have a date then, Mordor. Right. By the way, Angie. Yes. You know what I'm talking about, right? I suppose. It's not about coffee, is it? Ha! You got it. It's exactly about coffee. Make sure you remember, okay? I have a feeling we'll meet again. Then your feeling is wrong. Jay is carried away on a stretcher. I'll go and sort out the landing procedures for the aircraft. Wait for me here, okay? Sure. Angie, a moment of your time. In a quiet corner. You've also noticed, haven't you? The dream feels like a trap laid beforehand. They know about our every step before we take it. The enemy is obviously hidden even more deeply than we imagined. You mean Hobbs? No, the GIP doesn't have that kind of influence. It must be something else. What happened here in the refugee settlement was way too complicated. It wouldn't have gotten so out of hand if they had been the only ones involved. I doubt they could even manage anything bigger than this. You're right. The GIP couldn't have planned everything since your investigation at the Flora Institute. Back at the Institute, someone wiped all the data before we arrived. Whoever did it must have an extremely high-level security clearance. Even Leona knew nothing about it. At the end of the day, she was just another pawn. We're trying our best to recover the data at the Flora Institute. Hopefully we'll be able to salvage some of them. What happened at the orphanage was very strange as well. According to the intelligence report, those children were being used as test subjects. But they don't appear to be abused or mistreated. Guinea pigs that were well taken care of, huh? Hal might have just been one of the multiple channels of transporting children. They only hired a thug like him to cover up the full extent of the trafficking network. He operated as a representative of the GIP and handed the children over to Paradeus. All the transactions took place within the refugee settlement, making them impossible to trace. But even so, he's probably also unaware of Paradeus' inner workings. William's direct subordinates most likely hasn't shown their face at all. That's how well hidden they are. I believe even Hobbs was completely kept in the dark. He might not even know about the arrangement between the house mother and Powell. I'll question Hobbs myself later. Then there's this refugee settlement. We noticed some strange power down the road during the previous recon missions. We've sent it into the labs, but they haven't got those back to us yet. Angie Hans K has spent casing she has picked up. I originally thought it was a dirty bomb with collapse contamination, but the elites we encountered in the settlement were different. Now that I think about it, it could be related to the flowers at the Flora Institute. I investigate the origin of this shell. Angie! Angie! I'm here. The aircraft has landed. Okay, I'll be right there. Go talk to Chairwoman Ulrich first. Yeah, make sure my door's all properly repaired. We'll have the answers once I meet the Chairwoman. On the freighter. Sorry for Angie. I know the freighters aren't as comfortable as civil aircraft. It's no big deal. Angie, may I catch a wink on your shoulder? Go ahead. Thanks. I did so much running today my bones feel like falling apart. Get some rest. Angie pats Mordor gently on the head. With a loud word, the freighter takes off into the blue sky. It's such a long day, but it's finally over. Indeed. The refugee settlement is no longer within sight, but Angie can imagine what it looks like right now. Under the setting sun, the blazing flames are doused. Pillars of pale smoke rise, blending into the twilight. If God really existed, he would probably find hope in the ruins. Bridge of Eternity. Actually, let me see if there's anything else that popped up. I don't think they did, but, you know. Can never be too careful here. Okay. Bridge of Eternity. The German's tilt-rotor military aircraft takes off smoothly, and she helps the injured secretary and settle into her seat and sits down herself. Under the engine's continuous thrum, the two women suddenly feel the full force of the fatigue. They both let out a heavy sigh before looking at each other. Does your leg still hurt? It's just a grace. I feel like my trauma is more mental than physical. Really? You look pretty perky to me. It's all just an act. I was just scared out of my mind. I told you before we entered the settlement. I thought you were prepared. I was prepared. But I never thought Hobbs would be a GOP spy. No wonder Chairwoman Ulrich was always a bit distant around him. She must have known something wasn't right. If Ulrich noticed, so should her secretary, right? Actually, both Hobbs and I have started working for Ulrich only fairly recently. To be honest, I didn't know him at all that well. Didn't know him all that well. He was transferred from the municipal office. We weren't too close in private, but since there hasn't been any problems with security, nobody raised any objections. We didn't make any headway in the investigation at all. What a disappointing trip. Andy recalls the incidents in the last few days and flicks her hand impatiently. Seeing her in such deep chagrin, Mordo smiles and tries to console her. Don't give up, Angie. You haven't been here for long. I'm sure things will go better. Just rest up for now. You're right. Andy rests her chin on a hand and stares thoughtfully at Mordo. What are you thinking about? I'm thinking about what happened in the refugee settlement. There's still a lot of mysteries that haven't been explained. Mysteries? But haven't we already exposed the traitor Hobbs? The only reason why I have Ulrich in case cooperation is that we have a common enemy. As for why the GIP didn't succeed in capturing us, that's because said enemy doesn't want me to end up in their hands. I thought the GIP plainclothes failed because they and Powell were tripping each other up. The Elim mutation was triggered by the strange powder, which caused something quite similar to what we experienced at the Botanical Institute. I doubt Powell had the influence to acquire that kind of stuff. You mean it's the same enemy behind the Flora Institute and the refugee settlement? I believe so. So, someone else other than the GIP have their eyes on us. Please have me report this to Chairwoman Ulrich later. We must take all necessary precautions. That's certainly a good idea. But for now I have a few other questions. Oh, what questions? Our enemy has always been one step ahead of us throughout our investigation. I suspect I might be missing something important. Which is why I would like to ask you some questions, Miss Mordo. I hope you don't mind. Angie strokes her chin contemplatively as she probes the secretary. Confronted with Angie's tactful query, Mordo offers a polite answer in return. Please go ahead, Angie. I will tell you everything I know. If I remember correctly, while we were at the Flora Institute, the hallucinogen also rendered you unconscious, correct? Of course, you saw it yourself. Indeed, you were knocked out for some time like the rest of us. But I've noticed that the substance tends to trigger some kind of allergic reaction in people. Hobbs and I had nosebleeds. It also happened to Jay at the refugee camp after he came into contact with the hallucinogen floating in the air. However, you did not seem to have the experience of such allergic reaction yourself. Allergic reaction? This kind of thing varies with each individual. I didn't have something such as obvious as a nosebleed. Maybe my body simply has more resistance. Perhaps. Then there's another matter concerning the orphanage. Renata told me that while she was searching the different rooms, she saw a girl asking you for candy, but you said you didn't have any. Oh, I really didn't have any candy on me. What's the problem with that? What's strange isn't the fact that you didn't have any candy, but the fact that the children of the orphanage asked you for candy when they saw you. Have you been to the orphanage before? Why would the children know you? Oh. Actually, we visited this orphanage in the past as it's on Pekmar's list of prospective beneficiaries. That's also why we could arrange you the visit with the house manager at such short notice. Let's see. Speaking of candy, do you want some? I think it's important to replenish your sugar levels when you're in a bad mood. You have a point. Marlo fetches a pack of candy from a handbag, and she extends a hand to accept it. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to sort through the events and figure out what really happens. I apologize if my questions are making you uncomfortable. Please don't take this personally. No problem at all. I know you have your duties, and I'm happy to answer your questions. They don't have to be about work either. Feel free to ask me anything at all. I do find something very strange. Something not exactly related to work. Strange? What do you mean? This, for instance. The hand Angie has been holding out suddenly snakes around to Morito's back. She removes the pistol that's been hidden on Morito's belt in an instant. She then immediately disengages the safety and points the pistol directly at Morito while keeping 2 paces away from her. I remember you said that you didn't know how to use firearms before we entered the settlement. But you were about to draw your weapon when Hobbs was holding you at gunpoint, weren't you? Why did you lie? Oh, I'm so sorry. Actually, the chairwoman asked me to bring along a weapon before I left. I've had some training, but I'm not good at it at all. Back then, it looked like I was done for, so I thought I might as well give it a shot. Oh? Is that so? It's true. Please stop pointing the gun at me. You're scaring me. The explanation is flawless, but that's some really terrible acting. That's not a look that someone with absolutely zero combat experience would give me. Angie, please stop pulling my leg. Or I might really get crossed. Before you do that, why don't you have a piece of your candy? I suppose it contains some kind of chemical that stabilizes your emotion. It's just some normal candy. Enough with the slander for Angie. The aircraft will soon reach the location where we'll be meeting for Ulrich, and you can tell her all about your suspicions. You can investigate me all you like, but in the end, I will prove to be innocent. Will you? Then I look forward to... Before Angie can finish, the bearing of the secretary, who has been pleading with her beseechingly with tears in her eyes, shifts dramatically. She swipes at the gun pointed at her with her left hand without warning, disrupting Angie's aim. The unexpected strike causes Angie to pull the trigger out of her reflex before the pistol gets knocked out of her hands. The fire bullet misses the target and hits the wall of the aircraft, behind the secretary instead. Taken aback by Morito's CQC skills, Angie quickly collects herself. She draws her own sidearm and fires another shot directly at Morito's chest. However, Morito's movements once again take her completely by surprise. She reacts almost instantaneously as the shot is fired, faster than what a normal human is capable of. She ducks out of the bullet's trajectory so quickly it only brushes past the shoulder. When she straightens up again, the secretary's characteristic genteel smile has vanished, replaced by cold, deadly features contorted into an uncanny grin. Shooting a friend straight in the heart? My, you're stone cold. Ha! I was just bluffing you. I didn't expect you to drop the act just like that. And your reaction speeds? Are you a doll? No, that can't be right. Evan didn't notice anything strange about you. A new model of Naito, maybe. Both of those guesses are kind of insulting. While I was dragging you along the refugee settlement, no matter how much danger we were put in, your pulse was very steady the whole time. You're the one behind the appearance of those mutants, I suppose. Since those stupid JP members wouldn't leave me alone, you just got rid of them. Hops, the JP, those idiots are always just disposable pawns. You're exactly right, my objective has only ever been you, Angelia. But I'm surprised. Thought you would have completely let down your guard around me after we went through fire and water together. Went through fire and water? What a joke. I have absolutely no interest in being such good friends with some Paradise cultists. Sure, run your mouth. You only have a few more minutes anyway. Ha, so the plane is as shady as you. Too late. We will arrive at the destination very soon. We'll continue in this conversation once we reach the base. I'm sure we can talk all day, until you spill everything Father wants to know. Ha, then I'll have to kill you before it comes to that. The air grows tense in the enclosed space, and she takes the initiative and breaks the stillness of the confrontation. Now that she knows her opponent is a Paradise member with superhuman reflexes, there's no need to hold back anymore. This time, Angie fires directly at her head. Morito ducks and charges at Angie immediately. Without pausing, Angie draws upon her training and fires another 2 shots at her chest. Morito blocks the bullets with her right arm and flings her hand back at Angie. The pain causes Angie to flinch for a second. Exploiting this momentary weakness, Morito closes the distance and disarms Angie with a precise kick. She's fast. Having drawn close to Angie, Morito gives her no time to react. She brings down a suspended left leg on Angie's neck and grabs Angie by the dominant arm. Then she grapples Angie to the floor, immobilizing the upper half of her body. With her left arm held in a death grip, Angie tries to break free, but the more she struggles, the more force Morito applies. Her shoulder joint is screaming in agony. It's time you recognize the truth, Angelia. Join us. Instead of serving those corrupted, obsolete people in the upper crust, Follow Paradise and lead mankind into the future we deserve. You mean a future where everyone gets turned into irradiated zombies? Necessary sacrifices? Believing that she has the upper hand, Mordor lets down her guard slightly. Angie seizes the opportunity and draws a combat knife from her belt with her right hand. She then raises the knife and smashes the hilt into her left arm. The mechanical limb falls off with a clatter. With her leverage suddenly gone, Mordor sees a flash of white light and rolls aside immediately. However, the blood seeping through the clothes on one side of her toaster shows that Angie's attack has done the trick. Don't get cocky. So you're not covered in alloy, Miss Naito? I was wondering which part of you is human. I'm not a Naito. I'm 100% human. I'm just superior to you. Sounds familiar. That's exactly something a new type of Naito would say. Those GOP nationalists can't hold a candle to you. Angie gets to her feet and slowly backs away with a knife pointed at Mordor. Are you trying to anger me? What good would that do? No matter what I am, there will always be an unbridgeable gap between you and me. Winnie Posto says. God damn it. We are thousands of feet in the air. Where can you hide? Mordor charges in once more, and you can barely fend off her attack with just the right arm. An unbridgeable gap, huh? You're right, Mordor. We are separated by an unbridgeable gap. But not in terms of her physical strength. You will never understand. Prove it to me, Angelia. Prove me wrong. What can you do? Lucia? Angie bellows and a familiar figure slowly strolls through the cabin door with a wicked smile. Mordor's face slackens in shock. She's having trouble comprehending this unexpected turn of events. Oh, wow, it's been a while since I last saw you get your hands beautifully dirty in a fight, Angie. I thought you didn't need any help and was going to let you take all the credit this time. Why are you... When did you... Angelia, you tricked me. You got careless because you thought you had it in the bag. I suggest you take a look out the window, Mordor. Mordor turns abruptly to peer outside the window of the cabin. Instead of flying south of the city as she had planned, the flight is heading towards Magdeburg, where the Soviet Army's external group of forces is stationed. How long have you been spinning this web around me? Angie was worried that you wouldn't fall for the ploy, so she asked us to make it look like we've got taken out. I've been following you the whole time, and I slipped aboard the freighter the moment it landed. Then I had a long chat with your pilots, who happily agreed to catching up while I fly the plane. I shouldn't have expected so much of the GRP trash. That's right, neither Powell nor the GRP managed to kill anyone on Task Force Defy. I was using myself as bait and waiting for the big fish like you to bite the hook, and you didn't even suspect it. You just leaped right out of the water, both you and Hops. You lost it all from the moment you followed me into the refugee settlement, Mordor. Lost? I don't think so, Angelia. Your wolfpack may be pretty strong, but it makes no difference to me. AK-12 aims her weapon straight at the exposed Paradise agent, her wide-open violet eyes glinting dangerously. I wouldn't try anything funny if I were you. You may have faster reflexes than Angie, but this military-grade tactical doll and the automatic rifle would be more than happy to entertain you with 5.45 by 39mm full metal jacket, armor-piercing rounds. That is a misnomer. Full metal jacket is not armor-piercing. Armor-piercing is not full metal jacket. Unlike Angie, I don't have a gone through fire and water together kind of bond with you, so it'd be terrible if my finger slips and I shoot you into Swiss cheese. Oh gee, I'm so scared. If you randomly open fire in this pressurized cabin, we'll all die. You don't want your master to go splat, do you? First of all, Angie isn't my master, just my commander. Secondly, we've prepared for parachutes and set beforehand, though those supplies obviously limited. While they are sparring with words, Mordor slowly inches back. Just as AK-12 takes notice of a minute movement, Mordor spins around and delivers a sidekick. AK-12 pulls the trigger immediately. The bullet goes straight through Mordor's leg just before the kick connects. Blood spurts out the wounds, causing Mordor to pause in shock. Another gunshot rings out. This time, the bullet burrows straight into Mordor's unprotected shoulder. She collapses onto the floor due to the crippling pain. More blood gushes out, steeping her clothes in crimson wetness. She clasps her shoulder in pain and props herself up against the cabin wall. Angie stares at her coldly, pistol in hand. You know, quick, minute complaint. I know this art was made for just this scene. However, didn't Angie take off her mechanical armor a moment ago? Stop trying, it won't work. Since you're so superior, surely you can tell you don't stand a chance at all. So 505 AP rounds can still inflict damage on me at this distance. That's some important data. Moira cranes her head up and flashes them a goading smile. In response to the Paradise Agent's taunt, Angie raises the pistol and aims at her head. None of your tricks. We need you alive so that you can tell us about William when we get back to Chew, Ulrich. Don't count on it. With that, Moira grabs onto the seats in the cabin, then comes to the sound of metal and cables rupturing. Snap. What? Moira throws the ton of chair at Angie and Eka 12. Angie immediately opens fire, but her shot is blocked by the chair. After a bang, air comes tearing and howling in through the cabin door. They realize right away that Moira has flung open the emergency exit. Damn it, hold on tight. It's too late to stop her. Angie grabs her handrail out of reflex, which saves her life. Meanwhile, also gripping a handrail, Moira tears out another seat and throws it direct into the aircraft's nacelle. As the rotor lets out a horrific screech, the entire tilt rotor aircraft starts rocking violently. With one of the rotors down, the damaged plane spins out of control, knocking everyone on board off balance. Lucia, get into the cockpit. Try to land this damn thing. On it. You freaking lunatic. Trying to make us join you in hell, huh? Not in a million years. And you think I'll just go quietly with you? Not in a million years. There, I'm saying it right back at you, Angelia. Perhaps you'll miss me and come to treasure me with the time we've spent together. Well, don't worry, we'll meet again very soon. Then Moira throws herself out the emergency exit and off the freighter. The aircraft is still continuing its treacherous descent, and she peers through the window while hanging on for dear life. However, all she sees is a splash on the surface of the orbit. So now it's going to actually already be fully merged with humans. How many more places have to see these Paradise spies infiltrated? Is activating the relic William's sole objective? The situation here is worse. It's even more complex than our own country. But no matter how he tries to hide, his twitchy tail finally gives him away. He's right here in Germany. Now it's my turn to go on the offensive. Just you wait, Mordo, William. It won't be long now. Dual randomness, end. Me. That's another one of the events done. As I had already alluded to, I knew that she was a Paradise soldier because, well, this one is good. Let's see why. Do you mean the what? The cuts, the credits? The song is good so far. Now, the credits will be a little bit of a while. Thank you for your time. Will they not be a while? Short? Short credits on a major event? In Frontline? Huh? To be continued. Wait. After sending off the ambulance that will transport Jay to the hospital, Kane climbs into the van with Hobbs in the prisoner compartment and prepares to drive off. Only when the van is safely on the road does he glance at the doll sitting right behind him. Andrew really doesn't trust me, huh? I'm here under Angie's orders to help you. Please don't read too much into it. Cigarette? I don't smoke. Say, no matter how you look at it, Jay looks more like a spy than I do, don't you think? Never mind. You guys don't let anything slip by, that's what makes you perfect for this job. Wanna go out for a drink later? No, thanks. The van drives on in impressive silence. He stares at the glowing tip of a cigarette without taking a single drag. Hey, right now, don't you think we look like we're... Not at all. Okay, that bit's good. Alright then. So it seems like the commander side on this event was really just kind of a sidetrack from the rest. The 4-4 part wasn't, but the part after that. See, that's the best part, yeah. Now, for the next time, let's go through the entire credits of do a Randomness, yeah. For the next time, there's a second event that I haven't done yet, which is Mirror Stage. I haven't done this yet. I have done Point Current Currents. I have done all of the events after that. And I've done everything before that. Commander side might be more supposed to be Chapter 13. Maybe... It doesn't... Okay. Commander side really feels like kind of like a lead into to SF capture. Since Polarized Light happened during COVID. Yeah, at the same time... That's the wrong button. Polarized Light did happen during that... Why am I pressing all the wrong buttons? Am I stupid? I might be stupid. But Polarized Light also got its ending during Chapter 13, and the things that happened during the Commander side on... wrong button. Wrong event, rather. Wrong button! Fuck it, I'm not going back there. The Commander side during Dual Randomness just now was more like a lead into like how you get to capture all of the SF dolls, and how they accept it. Because, well, you have Architect convincing someone that they should join you. And then, and this is actually kind of aggravating, you have... you have the one... You have one of the SF dolls that only happens to appear during one event, appear again, to then be in SF capture once and never again. They can refuse to begin with anyway. Yeah, but, you know, better to, like, convince them than to just forcibly make them join. You know. Because I don't think that Ouroboros has appeared ever again after the first time she was in SF capture. Which is a shame, because I want her, and I didn't play at the time. So, yeah. Anyway, I am going to end my stream for today. This is actually a really, really good ending point. I could continue, but I don't really want to, you know. My voice is absolutely killing me, because this is a lot of reading and talking and boy. So let me see who I can send you off to. Let me see... Who is live? We have... You know what? I'm just going to send you over to San, who's currently playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. I don't know what exactly they're doing. They're doing something. I don't really have... Actually, hang on. I could check if there's anyone playing Gods Frontline. There barely ever is. There's not. Okay. A San it is. I'm not a Yu-Gi-Oh! Player. I don't know or understand shit about modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Used to have played, like, 15, 20 years ago. Actually, fuck, even longer. That was... Fuck! I'm old. I'm only 29. But fuck my life, I feel old. Thanks. Anyway. Let me send you over to Zan. I am going to be back tomorrow with... Should be... a Jag of the Lions. If Sleepers is available. We'll see. But I'll call it for the day and be back tomorrow. Have a good night. Thank you very much for being here. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to see more of Gods Frontline, Gods Frontline will be